are new to the channel, thank you for joining. It's great to have you. I am going to be swatching the Black Widow pencils. I decided that it would be great to add the Black Widow collection to my pencil collection. Now, I already have got the Cobra set of pencils, which I bought several years ago for one of my boys. And then after a while, they've kind of run out of interest in them. But when I did a poll and realized that the Black Widows were quite popular and that quite a few of you would like to have color alongs with the Black Widow pencils, I decided I would go ahead and buy the 3 main sets of pencils, and then I will add the light skin tones and the dark skin tones at a later stage. So I have opened them in the sense of taking them out their initial packaging, but they are still not fully opened, and I thought we could swatch them together and I can show you them, and in another video I will be testing them out in Frozen Fantasies Mythographic by Fabiana Attanasio. So I'm gonna clear up some space, and I'm also going to be using my big book of color charts by Ruby Charm Colors, and I'm going to swatch my pencils in here. Now, I really do like using this book. It has all my sets together, so it really does make things quite fun and interesting, and I like them all in the same place. It just makes it easier for me. So this is the Scorpion set, so 24 pencils, and it comes in a really nice tin with a bit of a write-up at the back. And if I open it up, it's taped, so that the lid is taped together, and then if I turn it, so you have the lid inside, lists all the pencil names, and gives you a full view of your pencils. Now, I prefer swatching them onto paper because I do find it is slightly different than on the actual plastic. Right, so now to open this. I'm just going to use the tip of a pencil to just break the plastic, and alright, so there we go. Alright, so after opening it up, I do get a sort of like acetone or plasticky type smell, and it does linger onto the pencils a bit. It's the same sort of smell I had when I bought my Castle Arts and I opened them up. They had a bit of a smell to them as well. So I'm going to try and, I don't know if I can zoom you in more, so I'll have to move the book around as we do this. So let's have a look. So the first one is Yellow Sand. So I'm just got to find it here. Now I'm doing the Scorpion, so here it is, Yellow Sand. And they are lovely and creamy to work with. They go down easily, and they seem to layer up quite well. Now, when I tried them, I think I tried them in a Rita Berman book, the Cobra set, and they worked quite well, actually. I was quite pleased with it. Next we have Pastel Lemon, which is further down here. So the nice thing with swatching them all out, I get to have a look and see what colors I have, and then from there I can work out my color combos. Then we have Honeycomb, which is number 7. Now I did go and check whether the light skin tones and the dark skin tones were just sets of the same pencils found in the Scorpion, the Cobra, the Spider and the Monarch, and I can confirm that they are not the same pencils duplicated. So I will be getting those sets at some point. Right now we have tanned. So if you are interested in seeing how to do skin tone with Black Widow pencils, please let me know in the comments and I can gauge how much interest there is and know how urgent a priority to place on doing a series in the skin tones with Black Widows. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be burnt orange. Right, so that's quite a lovely deep orange. Then we have Pig's Ear. You gotta love the names. And then we have Delicious Pink. Now, as far as I'm aware, you do get some people who like to sharpen their pencils immediately after buying them, and I think this is just to remove any protective wax that have been placed over the tips. But because this is laying down relatively well, I don't mind. We have Pastel Purple. Then we have Blood Red, which is up here at the top. Next is Burgundy. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is with the other sets, I'm going to first put them into the same order as in the chart book. And then from there, I can swatch them and hopefully it will go a little bit quicker than this. And then we have, I think this is Lime Fruit. Now, I've heard of some people finding swatching absolutely boring, and some people just don't always understand the point of swatching. Now, what I found with swatching my colors is it gives me a feel of the pencil. This is Grub Green. So it gives me a feel for the pencil. How does it lay down on the paper? And this specific paper is quite, it's like print paper. It's not great quality. So at least I get a feel for it. And then I also get to see the color on white paper, so I know how it reacts to white paper. And then I also have a quick reference. So this is Irish Green. I also have a quick reference for my colors, and it helps me with picking out my dark tones, my midtones, and my light tones, especially for color combinations. Excuse the background noise, my children are in the process of going to bed. Then we have green grass. The nice thing with budget sets, you can, if you find a couple of budget sets that work well for you in your style of coloring and also work well across the different coloring books you've got, you can mix them with your other pencils, and you can also save some of your more expensive sets and use those for more of your cherished books. So this is turquoise. However, with that being said, I would also say though that if you fancy coloring a certain coloring book with a certain pencil set and you know it's going to be an enjoyable experience, then go for that, because you've spent and invested good money in your hobby, whether it's a cheap or budget set versus an artist set. It doesn't really matter. You've invested good money in it, and the whole point of this hobby is for it to be enjoyable and a gift to you. It's like you giving yourself a gift of creativity, a gift of happiness, a way to de-stress and cope with some of what life brings to you, and outlets. So whatever makes your coloring experience enjoyable, that's the whole point. So if you prefer coloring in like cheaper quality books with your budget sets pencils, then that's what you do. But if you don't mind using your artist set, then do that. It really doesn't matter. There's no hard and fast rules, as long as it brings you enjoyment and inspires you to keep creating and experimenting and exploring. All right, now we have Blue Heaven. I love the names. I like that it's not just a number, it's actually a name, and it's original names instead of, you know, cadmium yellow, which is fine, or burnt umber. I like the creativity of them of the Cobra Black Widow pencils. I also like that they have a black shaft, and it makes it very interesting and unique. Although I have seen that you do get different brands with the black barrel as well, but I do like the uniqueness of the Black Widows. And for the price, I think you're getting a relatively good quality. So they really are a pleasure to work with. All right, Galaxy Blue. the other reality is, once you have a bit of know-how in your coloring, a bit of experience and all of that behind you, you can take just about any set and create something beautiful with it, because you know how you start to understand how colored pencils work, and you start to understand how they respond on paper, and then you change your approach accordingly. But that only really comes with experience and having used your colored pencils quite a bit, and a variety of them. So I would say that the Black Widows, they're much softer and easier to blend than even the Castle Arts. They won't smush together the way Prismas do, but you could layer them and blend them quite quickly into each other. So it should be a relatively quick coloring experience. They respond well to paper. All right, we are down to our last one, dark chocolate. So this is the end of the Scorpion set. All right, so there you go. So we've got two sets now, and I can very easily see if I used a gold or a tanned, I could pull out a chestnut or a rattlesnake. I've got a dark chocolate here. I could even bring in some brown bug. So I can already see how I could layer up some of these pencils for skin tones. And I know that we're going to get some really fabulous colors in the other sets. So let's have a look at our Black Widow, so the spider set. Now the spider sets, the cobra set, the scorpion set all cost about 15, rounded up, £15, which isn't bad, and you're getting 24 pencils in each one. All right, so again, this is going to be very similar to the scorpion in the way it's been packaged. Here again, you have the write-up, and then a showcase of all the pencils, and then it's beautifully packaged in here with the protective film on top. So just break the film. All right, so that is our spider. Now I'm just going to go through the whole process of opening up all the tins, and then we can swatch them. I think that might work a little bit better. So again, it's swatched now. As you can see, different casing. But they were a good addition to the Black Widows. And then as you can see, if we compare the size, so it's got a thicker plastic here, and the pencils aren't going all the way in, so you're losing two sets of pencils here, but they need it for the fingers. And this is a set of 36, whereas the other sets have been a set of 24, and the light tones and the dark tones are sets of 12. So just to give you a bit of perspective. So here we have one set. We can pick this up, and oh dear, so all 3 sets I bought off Amazon, and they were delivered in the same package, but as you can see, some of the pencils have fallen out, so that's a little bit of a pity. And then there's nothing underneath there, so it's just 2 trays. And there we go. So here we've got, it looks like a gold and a silver, so 2 metallic pencils, a whole lot more shades of green. We've got a few more grays and blues, and then quite a variety of reds, oranges, pinks, and a few more yellows. So very, very interesting. Right, so let's have a look at swatching. So we're going to go back to our spider set. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, now as you can see on each pencil, if I can get one out. So if I hold up a Monarch pencil and a Black Widow pencil, you can tell which one is from which set because they have the little symbols. So here you've got a spider, and down here you have a little dragon. And if I show you on here, you get the scorpion. So it's very easy to see which set you're working with. I have ordered myself a pencil case, so I'm going to actually place them in their own pencil case, and the sets will be muddled up together, but that is how you can tell which pencils are from which set. Alright, so now I have put them in the same order as in the book, just to help with swatching so it goes quickly. So here we have Ladybug. I'm going to zoom you in so it's a bit easier for you to see. Next we have Banana, which is actually a really bright yellow. I might actually sharpen these. They are a little scratchy, but it just might be because they need a little bit of sharpening. Then we have Tarantula. Oh, there we go. Sapphire Blue. cyanide pink, the other nice thing with doing swatches is it helps you create gradients with your own pencil and within the same pencil. Pumpkin. So you can go very hard and then learn to ease up your pressure as you go out and create a gradient. Cicada. It is nice to create a gradient in your swatches so you can see how dark the color is at a burnish level and how light it is at a light pressure. Now you can do it the other way where you just go really, really light and then build up. I did use my pencil swatches to help me learn a bit of pencil control when it came to gradients. I found it did help. I also watched Julie's Passion for Pencils, I think it's called, and she's really, really good with coloring in gradients. And I watched her quite a bit in the beginning and I realized she colored with gradients, so I then practiced coloring with gradients for a while just to give better control over my pencils, and it helped me also to blend my pencils into each other. So this is Stink Bug. I love the names. And as you can see, they're really quick to swatch. They're not difficult, especially when you have them in a similar order to the page you're swatching on. However, if you are doing your own swatches in, say, a notebook, you could just arrange your pencils in color order, and from there you can just color them in. So this is basically very similar to a white, maybe more like a slightly off-white, but I would use that as a white pencil. All right, Toadstool. So here you've got almost like a fleshy color. So this reminds me of like a deep flesh in both the Castle Art set and the Polychromos. The other nice thing with swatching your pencils, you can then compare the colors with other sets that you have, and from there you can, if you've got favorite combinations, you can see which pencils or match those combinations and then create the same combination in a different pencil set. Right now we have Plum Pudding. Followed by Amethyst. Forget-Me-Not. So when I created my poll to see which budget sets of pencils you all were interested in color alongs, I had a 40% vote for the Black Widows, which tells me that they are really a lot more popular than I actually thought they were. I can feel I am going to really enjoy having the full set of Black Widows. Then we have Everglade, and I'm very curious to see how they would perform on cheap print paper. So I have a Dover coloring book, which is very cheap paper. And I would also, so I'd like to test these pencils in just about all my coloring books, or categories of coloring books, not necessarily in every single book, and work out which books they work the best with. And then it will give me a bit more variety. So for example, I've worked out that Denise Klett and Castle Art pencils are actually a really good combination. And Denise Klett's paper in her books work well with even Artesa's and some of your, well, they work with Prismas, but I find they chew the Prismas up really quickly. So because of that, I rather use my budget pencils. Layla Dooley's The Flower Year so far has used just about any pencil I've thrown at it. I know that the Amazon version of Christine Caron, sorry guys, this is Spiderweb. So the Amazon Fairies and Fantasies by Christine Caron uses Polly's, Prismas and Castle Arts really well. And then the Mythographics, they take Prismas, and they worked quite well with Marco Raffine. Some of them work nicely with Polly's. It just depends on my mood, I think, and what I'm doing. But I'd say Prismas are my favorite, but I'm open to trying the budget sets. Hannah Carlson works with Polly's, with Prismas, and Castle Arts. I don't think I've tried much else on there, to be fair. So, and then Rita Berman works well with, the Castle Arts aren't too bad. Polly's aren't too bad either. Prismas work, and I've tested Black Widows, and Black Widows work. Melpomene Chatsipana Gyotu, her books work well with Prismas. They did take Polly's, although I'm not sure if I like the Polly's in it. The Castle Arts worked well, Artesa's worked fine, and I did find some of the Black Widows worked okay. So I think it would be a good, this really does look like egg yolk. So yeah, the more I test the various pencils I have on the different, I just realized something. This tin has been dented, so I'm going to make a complaint because that should not have been dented. So that is a complaint for Amazon. Right, so let me zoom you out so we can see what we have so far. There we go. So as you can see, a lot of beautiful, bright, vibrant colors, which is fantastic. And I think if the Monarch has some more muted tones, it will work really well. But you know, if you layer up your colors, you can tone them down and they will still look very beautiful. As you can see, my Black Widow's swatch section ends with a Monarch pencil. So I'm going to go to the back of my swatch chart book and look for another page similar to this, and I'm going to attach it to this page with some sticky tape. Okay, so I found a page. I've used a craft knife to take it out the book, and I'm just going to use some sticky tape. And I'm just going to attach this into my book. Alright, so now I'm going to write that this is the dragon. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to name them and then I'll swatch them with you. So I will see you in a bit. Alright, so I've written out all the names in the order I've put them in, which is kind of like color order. And now I'm going to just quickly swatch them. So I'm going to zoom you down so you can see. So this is mellow yellow. Next we have gold dust. Sandpiper. Next we have orange petal. Light rust. Serpent. The nice thing with using a notebook to swatch pencils, you don't have to worry too much about doing little fixes, you know, adapting like I've done here, because you can give yourself a page or two. And I'd rather add pages to my swatches than get another book or a notebook and then re-swatch everything. Can you imagine swatching like 1,000 or 2,000 pencils and re-swatching it because you bought an updated book? I like swatching, but I don't know if I like it that much. Next we have Bloodshot. Evil Red, which this has a bit more of a muted look, maybe a bit more of a red violet to it. Shiraz, oh, sorry guys. Next we have Rosie, Maiden Pink, Crimson Stone, oh, it's not picking up. It says nail polish. Lady Jane, Bruise, now I think if I was to sharpen these pencils, I wouldn't overly sharpen them. I'd just basically try to take off the first layer or so, and just, especially on the lead or the core. Core is probably the better way of saying it. All right, Ruby Rose. Calm Lime. So now we're heading into our greens. Then we have Zombie. Grass Blade. Wizard, Fizz, apologies for any background noise you're hearing. My kids are struggling to settle tonight. Green Glow, Pine, Pleasant Blue, Blue Tongue, Picasso Sky, Dragon Saber, Dark Knight, and then we have Saddle, which is more like a yellow ochre, really. Castle, Brown Brick, Dungeon. Cobblestone. Cardboard. Alright, so there you have the dragon set, and as you can see, it's quite heavy in the oranges, pinks and reds, but I am glad that we've got a bit more greens and lighter blues. So yeah, let's have a look next at the Monarch pencils, and then we can decide on the variety of colors in the Black Widow sets. Right, finally we have the Monarch pencils, which have just come in, and yeah, I am a bit annoyed and embarrassed with myself for confusing the dragon with the Monarch, but never mind. Right, so let's have a look. Again, it's quite thick. As you can see, it's got some plastic over it. I haven't opened it. It's 48 pencils, and this set came before the dragon set, and then yeah, the dragon set came after, and I think it filled in a few more gaps. So we'll swatch this and we'll have a look and see how the colors pan out. So again, it's completely sealed. This came in good packaging, nothing jostled about. So really, really great quality there. Really happy with that. Okay, and again, as you can see, we've got two trays. So we've got these lovely finger holds, the same as the dragon set, which we can lift to reveal both sets of pencils, both trays of pencils. All right. So here in the Monarch, as you can see, it is a bit more pastel-y. We've got a whole lot more gentle colors here. Here we've got a lot more grays, which is always really useful to have. And then a bit more pastel-y blues and a lighter purple. So I'm going to organize them in the same color list as in the Ruby Charms big book of color charts, and then I will come and swatch them with you. Alright, so now let's zoom you in so you can have a close look at these beautiful colors. So first up is Milk. Then we have Cream. Fawn. peach, Aztec gold, so what I've noticed with the Monarch pencils is they have got a lot of vibrant colors and quite a good range of yellows and oranges. This is mango. Candy. Ice cream. Very lovely, gentle color, this one. Light pink. Bliss, which I got muddled up with mushroom. However did that happen? Ah, because I skipped one. Here's mushroom. Next we have fudge. Hot pink. Passion. Cool green. Apple. Iceberg. Make time. Right, peppermint. green slime. Washed green. Poison. So as you can see, there are in the Monarch set a lot more pastel colors, but I think that's a good thing because it gives you a lot of options, and you have various colors now that are quite light, and you can use those to build up and layer up. So this is Antler. Green tea. Light bronze. Emerald. Sapphire. Leaf green. Sky. And this one does look like sky. Cat's eye. I do enjoy some of the more muted colors. I think they are really fun, and I do find myself quite challenged because I don't naturally look at muted colors when I pick my color combos, and yet I've seen such beautiful artwork with muted colors, and I find that so inspiring. So I do want to learn how to create beautiful pictures with muted tones. Ocean. Blue daisy. Navy blue. Blue Moon. Storm Blue. Opal. Eggplant. Now this is a good shade to use in blackberries, and then you go over it with darker blues and some darker grays or even a black pencil, and you layer up the colors in that way. Lavender. Grey Slate. Oyster. Oh, I like this color. It's a very unusual color. It's not cream, but it's got some other bits of green inside it and grays. It's a lovely color. Light gray. So I would use oyster and light gray in mushrooms, and then maybe some of the other grays, depending how dark they are. Medium gray. Dark gray. Honestly, I would have renamed these differently. I would have swapped that to a dark gray and this to a medium gray. Just my personal opinion. Shadow. Oops, sorry. There we go. Coal. Gunmetal. Mahogany. Oh, this is nice. It's a reddish and orangey tinge to the brown. Very lovely color. This would be great for trees or even wood furniture. And then we have Rusty. All right, let's have a look. So on this side we have the cobra, the scorpion, and the spider, and as you can see here, these colors are brighter than this, and that I would say is due to light fastness. Over time this has faded a little bit. The colors are still vibrant, but this swatch is probably about 2 years old, so the vibrancy might not be as good as these newly swatched colors. However, you can still get a feel for the colors and all of that. So again, beautiful colors schemes we've got here in all the colors of the rainbow. Some very beautiful deep colors, and then we go over to the Monarch side, and again vibrant colors, but we do have a lot more pastel shades. And then we go over to the Dragon, which sort of balances the two sets out, I think. And all that's left for me in this Black Widow set is to purchase the light and the dark tones, but that will be for another day. I think we've got more than enough to actually get started on creating some beautiful color alongs featuring the Black Widow pencils. In addition, I have gone and bought myself a brand new case. This is 120 slots, so I'm going to rearrange my pencils and make sure that the Black Widows have their own casing, and I'm going to arrange them in color family because it will make more sense than keeping them in their individual sets. So that's my plan. Thank you so much everyone for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this swatch video, and I hope that you will enjoy the color alongs that will be featuring the Black Widows. Until next time everyone, take care. Bye for now.